Hey guys, hey guys, welcome back to the channel. As you know, my father recently passed, and this was the car, his dream car. So today we are going to change it to be his perfect dream car. And we're done. That's it. We painted it orange, the color he wanted. We got the man, the myth, the legend, David, born to be wild. If it's too loud, you are too old. The car turned out wonderfully. Put a little David name on the door, and the car looks amazing. So the original car, we're breaking it down, putting into it all its components. And this is all time-lapse. I don't normally work that fast. But I wanted to do this so that we could make my father a replica for us and for him. And breaking all this down, so what we've done here is get all the components down, get everything all set up so we know what the next steps are, which we're going to scuff everything, clean everything, and then we're going to paint everything. It's already a painted surface, so we don't have to worry about priming it. And then we taped everything off we wanted to tape. It's some old tapes that I had, and it's kind of useless. I put it up on little stands I made out of styrofoam, tripped over the tripod there. And again, everything's taped off. Now we're going to scuff it with Scotch-Brite instead of sandpaper. And I used hot glue to fasten it, and then to get rid of the oils on the stuff from my hands and everything, I'm going to be wearing gloves, and I'll be using Varsol, sorry. So let's get to it and scuff it all over, and then at the end of which, we're going to use some clear. So this is me scuffing it all down, making sure that I'm not adding any oils from my hands, and that everything has a nice key for the paint to bite into, which I think is very important, so that the paint itself won't run, for example. And I do 2 and 3 coats and stuff. I did have to respray some things. You'll see that a little bit later in the video. And I really love this color. The first couple times you spray it, it's not very bright, but after it dries, and you do a flash set for about 15 minutes before you hit it again. And at that point, you can actually see the orange popping. All these parts and everything looked really good. The hood didn't turn out as good as I wanted it to. And I think that's awesome, because I added something later. Then we have the Born license plate, which my Uncle Keith does have. He's passed away as well, so the family has it. And then here we have the stickers that we made up. If it's too loud, you're too old, born to be wild. I have 2 different sizes. I'm going to figure out which one's going to go where. And I like playing with the labeling. I like playing with the labeling machine. This was a very... And then we're going to clear coat it. I keep saying that. I'm not sure why in the original video. The reason why I'm doing the YouTube voiceover as well is because YouTube kept copyright infringement and stuff, and I didn't want to have that in the video. But there's where I decided to paint the center part of the hood to give it more of a muscle car look with flat black. And I like that I put the decals on the side to say Camaro, because with the white background, they really pop. And that's for the cat skin leather, not actually made from cats, it's just a brand. And again, I'm just going over the license plate. I was going to put one in the front, but it didn't look right, so I decided not to do that. And I wish I had the actual Born license plate. But now we're going to start assembling it and putting it all back together. I did mark the handles and all the accents of the car and stuff, and the side markers and things of that nature. Just like, like the subtle little hints here and there. I'm putting it all back together. I couldn't remember where the screws went, so a lot of the times I was pulling it apart, putting it back together, pulling it apart, putting it back together. And the car started to come together slowly, bit by bit. And here, we are just going ham, putting it all back together, all the paint touch-ups, the fenders and everything. And it's starting to look like a real Camaro. This is the fenders I was just speaking about. I had to retouch them up, so I just stabbed them into the styrofoam, and just a line because I didn't want to see the silver behind it. And as we're getting all this through, we're putting all the pieces back together, trying to figure out the best way to assemble it, and I'm just doing all the touch-ups and stuff. And I did the fog lights there. I painted silver behind them, so the fog lights wouldn't be the color of the car, but be the silver color, so they would look like they're actual lights there. And we had the running boards and everything and glue back in. I crazy glued those, and the car turned out reasonably well. I like the way it turned out. I'm pretty proud of it. It was chaos because of the emotions and what this car meant, every task was like 10 times as harder. It's like 10 times harder than what it should be in doing it. So if you're doing this kind of work, just go slow and then put your emotions at the back, even though this was very tough to do. But this would be the car my dad would pick. I painted the windows because I wanted to be tinted, and the inside of the car and everything turned out really well. And the footwell you see there, I put his name, kind of like his own little custom thing. I wanted to make sure there was as much of him as possible for this vehicle. And everything functions, works as it should, everything lifts and all that. I painted the mirrors silver so that you could have actual mirror there. And then Born to Be Wild, that I love the way this car turned out. Even though it was not a rush but a rush, it turned out really well. And then in the trunk it says love, and I just wanted to send him on his way with love, you know. I just got that little cheesy thing. Now this is the rear end of the car. It turned out really well. I love the way it looks, the way it sits, like everything. And I painted the what do you call it, the bow tie. My dad was a bow tie man. I'm a bow tie man, and that's not a GM reference, but it is a GM reference at the same time. I love how badass the hood looks, and then for the front of where the intake is, you see the little line there, that's where the intake was. It makes it look really good. I was able to keep the original hood liner that says Camaro. I'm very thankful that the tape actually worked for that part of it. The rest of it I had to retouch up and everything. But she looks marvelous. The car looks like a beast. Just gorgeous. Yeah. My father would be proud to own this car, whether it's a replica, like you see here, or the actual physical car, which is what he was about to buy before he passed. So it's kind of bittersweet that we don't have that, because that would have been something to remember him by. Kind of like that country song, like, I drive his truck, and that's where I remember him. It'd be, I drive your car, and that's where I remember you. That's the end of the video, and just some shots. And today we're laying him to rest, and this car will go with him. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you in the next video. Y'all be safe. Peace.